Before we dive in, I wanted to take a moment to thank this season's presenting sponsor, ShopMy. ShopMy is a platform that connects designers, tastemakers, and creators with shoppers who trust their style and recommendations. With ShopMy, you can discover and shop the pieces experts actually use and love in their own homes, all in one beautifully curated place. And now, shopping is even easier with the launch of the new ShopMy app. Create circles with your favorite curators like myself or today's guest, discover new products tailored to your taste, and save everything you love with wish lists and Snapshop right in the app. Download the new ShopMy app at the link in the show notes. And now, on to this week's episode.
I love a project. I excelled at group projects. Wasn't the best test taker, but I excelled at group projects. And so my business is now one big group project.
That makes for a good business owner. Welcome to Talk Shop. I'm Ariel Okin, a New York-based interior designer, writer, and editor, looking to bring a little bit of magic into our homes every day. After years as a writer and editor in the interiors world, I founded my own editorial site, Fenimore Lane, in 2020, and the Talk Shop interview series was born. Each week, I delve into the personal experiences of the top interior designers and tastemakers around the globe. My guest this week is Shea McGee, the Chief Creative Officer and co-founder of Studio McGee and one half of the Powerhouse duo behind the McGee & Company universe, which she runs with her husband, Sid. Shea's path to launching Studio McGee in 2014 started years earlier, when she left her job at an ad agency to tackle the remodel of their first California home. Shea documented the whole journey on social media, and her fresh, approachable style caught on immediately. Before long, she had built a loyal following that was begging her to start her own design firm. Fast forward to today, Shea leads the creative vision for the ever-growing Studio McGee Inc. portfolio, their interior design studio, and McGee & Company, their wildly successful e-com business. Shea's design firm and ecosystem expanded rapidly, paving the way for a dream lineup of projects and partnerships, including licensing collaborations with Target, Kohler, and Saks and Pura, and their long-running Netflix series, Dream Home Makeover, which is a personal favorite binge watch. Today, Shea is considered one of the leading innovators in the interiors world. She's made it her mission to help others make life beautiful by elevating the everyday through good design. Shea is thoughtful and genuinely passionate about what she does, and I know you're going to love listening to her as much as I loved getting the chance to talk with her. So please join me as we welcome Shea McGee to the show. Shea, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you on.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, to kick off the conversation, we always ask everyone who comes on, can you describe your style in 3 words or less?
This is a question that I get asked a lot, and I always feel like I either need to change up my answer so it sounds different. I would say that my style is classic, layered, textured. I could keep going, I guess. I probably have a few more.
No, that's perfect. And for those listening, everybody listening knows who you are, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are at this point in your life right now?
Sure. So I am both an interior designer and entrepreneur. I started a business called Studio McGee about 11 years ago. And prior to that was self-taught interior designer that built a following on social media. And I've now grown that into really a design house. So we design products. We run an e-commerce brand called McGee Co. That's furniture, decor, everything for the home. Then we take on luxury custom home projects. And then we also do partnerships with different companies like Kohler and Target. So it's a threefold business.
Amazing. I'm so inspired by how you grew your brand, and we're going to get into it later in the episode, but I love that you didn't go to school for design. I also didn't go to school for design, and that you kind of just followed your intuition, and it took you down this wild, amazing path. What is your story for your love of design? Was it something that was always a part of you, even going back to childhood?
I've always loved personal style and really beautiful things. I don't think that I have ever, as a young kid, I don't know that I thought about interior design as a career.
Yeah.
Or maybe even that I knew that that was a career until I got to college and was really scared by the fact that I'm not a natural artist. Like drawing wasn't a skill set for me, but I've always been someone who cares about the details, if I am doing anything from decorating a Christmas tree in my little tiny apartment in my dorm room to, going to shop thrift stores because I wanted to find pieces even when I couldn't afford, nicer furniture. Like it's always been a part of me, but I didn't consider interior design as a career for myself until after I had just finished college. I studied communications with emphasis in public relations and worked in that for a couple of years, and then realized that I had a real passion for interior design. And I took a few classes at a local community college so I could just kind of get my feet wet and better understand if it was going to be a fit for me. And at that time, I mean, this really dates me, but I was one of the very first people to start posting my house on Instagram. Like people weren't doing that at the time.
Yeah.
So I started posting little projects of this home that we purchased in Orange County, Orange County, California. And I was doing updates, and it was before an algorithm was controlling anything, and like my following just grew. And I looked to other industries like fashion to see how people were doing social, because no one was doing it in interior design.
Yeah. No, you really were like the first one.
Yes. And I think my communications background really helped me see the opportunity there.
Totally.
And then I started getting small clients, and those small clients then grew into years of big clients.
It's so cool. I went to undergrad for journalism, and I worked in public affairs, and I similarly like never thought that interior design, it didn't even occur to me that could be a career. And then like I started helping friends on the side, and that was sort of how it started. It's so cool to see how much of a massive, massive, massive business that you guys have built. I mean, just to give people an understanding of the scale of what you guys have built, like how many employees do you guys have?
We have a little under 200.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's such a cool and inspiring story.
And for those who haven't followed us, for some context, my social media following was growing like really quickly. And my husband was working with family and came home one day right before I was giving birth to our first baby and was like, I'm done. I'm never working with family again. And then, of course, after some convincing that, hey, I'm onto something here, we actually decided to sell our home in Orange County, the one that gave us the start on social, and use that money to fund our business. So we moved to Salt Lake, where we knew that it was a more business-friendly environment for us to like stretch our money. And we used that to fund our business. So we went into business together and started Studio McGee. And the vision there was that we would build an e-commerce brand, but it wasn't as simple as that. And so we continued to do the interior design services. And still to this day, we balance multiple businesses under the Studio McGee umbrella.
So you launched your studio in 2014. What was the moment that you knew that you were ready to do that? And was Sid a part of the early days? Like, what did that look like?
So I was working by myself, Shea McGee Design, and I was taking all projects. And when we decided to go all in and sell everything we owned to start this business, we were just taking like everything. And Sid has we are very opposite in our skill set and also personalities. We're like, I like a plan. I want to feel 100% confident. And he is like, let's just do this. Let's try it out.
You kind of need that too. I feel like the complement of it's like yin and yang. I feel like that helps you when you're starting a business.
Yeah, I don't even think that I would have started taking on design clients if it wasn't for him just saying, why not? And I had a lot of reasons why not, but thanks to him, I gave it a shot. So yeah.
That's so sweet. And you were such an early adopter of Instagram before influencing was even a thing. How has your relationship with your audience evolved as your platforms have grown? Because you've expanded so wildly in a decade.
Yeah. So we started on Instagram, and we have had a YouTube channel for many years. We were like one of the first home YouTube channels. I mean,
oh my God.
We're talking like Sid was filming me talk about, different countertop materials, and we didn't know what we were doing. And
oh my God,
sound was terrible. We didn't know like how to do the mics, and
that's so good.
But we've run YouTube has been a huge part of our business really since the very early days. And it still is a big part of what we do. And then of course we've continued to add other outlets, but Instagram, I think just because it's where I started and we still have a lot of emphasis there. I would say that the change is that as you grow and your business grows, you have business initiatives that need to be filled and met, and I can't keep up with everything. And so I have a team that's amazing, but it also does like remove me. I approve what things I say, like the things that I say, I approve, but I have a team, and that is hard because as you grow, some of that personal aspect is removed.
You lose your, totally.
About a year or so ago, I was like, I don't want a content calendar and I don't want any rules. I'm just going to start an Instagram account for myself so I can just post whatever it is that I want. And it's honestly been a really fun outlet for me because there are no rules. And I've enjoyed doing that, and social, doing it as long as I have. It's always changing. And if you're not wondering like what you should be doing differently, then you're probably going to get stagnant. So it's kind of just a constant challenge.
It's also, people can feel that authenticity. So knowing, like, people are smart and they can smell it, you know? And so like the fact that like it's not planned and it's just coming straight from you, I think is what makes it so successful.
Yeah. And then I think on the flip side, if you're running a business and you need some organization, which is important to have, it's like, you almost have to organize or plan when that lack of organization is happening. And so what we've done on Studio McGee and McGee Co is just, hey, let's plan when Shea pops in, because she can't be popping in all day, every day on multiple accounts at multiple outlets. But I have like assigned days and times where it's like, okay, get on and talk about whatever it is that you're doing. And it helps keep that authenticity there, because otherwise it feels like a schedule.
Totally. That makes so much sense. And also you have your hand in so many things. Plus you have three kids?
I do have 3 kids. I have 3 girls.
Yeah. I don't know how you like put your hand in everything. So it's smart that they schedule your time to pop in. Otherwise it just wouldn't be tenable.
Yeah. My list of things that I oversee is long. And so but I think I'm antsy. And I love a project. I like excelled at group projects. Wasn't the best test taker, but I excelled at group projects. And so my business is now one big group project.
That makes for a good business owner. Let's talk a little bit about McGee & Company. When you guys launched McGee & Co., what problem were you solving that you weren't seeing kind of answered already in the existing market?
Okay, again, I'm going to date myself, but when we started McGee & Co., this was a time when people were asking where things were from and couldn't get the answer, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
It was before stories. It was before like the bots responding to like comment for links or whatever it is. It was before that, and also before like get the looks. Like we started the get the look. Like there wasn't that around.
Yeah.
So our pitch to vendors or partners was, we are doing social media differently than you have ever seen social media be done before. I have projects. I have proof of concept that look at all of these questions. They want to know where your light is from. They want to know where your rug is from. And there was no direct connection to shoppability. Now the game has completely changed, and it sounds hilarious that that wasn't a thing, but it wasn't a thing. And we started the thing, and I saw an opportunity. We were having to run affiliate links and through our blog, and I could show proof like, hey, look at how many people are clicking on this. I know they want these products. And so when we started McGee & Co., we started small, and now we manufacture and design almost everything ourselves. We do continue to carry some
amazing
vendor partners, but for the most part, that was our goal from the beginning, was to build a brand. I love and appreciate brand on a very deep level.
I mean, you can tell. Yeah, you guys have a very consistent and always evolving, but consistent in the way that like it's trusted, and when you see it, you know it's you. which is so hard to do. And I think you either have that innate sense of communications and brand building or you don't. And you obviously very much do have it. Your guiding principle is sophisticated but not stuffy. It's become such a recognizable element in the ethos of everything that you do under your sort of ecosystem. How do you keep that signature while still evolving creatively?
What's awesome about sophisticated but not stuffy is that can range in styles.
Yeah.
And I think like I said, like I'm too antsy, and also I want to please our clients. And so when they come to us and they say, this is what I want for my home, this is my style, we'll put the Studio McGee spin on it, but it's still very much our clients. And that means that we can have a range within the Studio McGee look that ranges from more traditional to more contemporary. And I love being able to play with different styles. And I think similarly in the trend cycle, we can give the Studio McGee spin on a trend. And my goal is always to say, like, we're not going to be overly trendy, but we can like go with the flow of the ebbs and flows in the design space, which is fun for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to look stuck in one specific time, but I also want our products to feel timeless. So it's a tough balance, but
it's tricky. Yeah.
It's tricky. And also I want to make sure that people like it too. And so I have to have a deep understanding of, like, I can't push our customers too far where they're so uncomfortable where they won't purchase a product, but I do want to push them.
Right. That's an interesting, because it's different from the design side of the business, which is sort of like bespoke to what their inspiration is within the world that you guys have created. But the product has to have some consistent thread throughout it always, because like you said, you don't want to alienate the customer. How do you run a brand, you have a design firm, you have a product company, you have a TV show, and you have 3 children. How?
Well, we're not doing the TV show anymore. So when you say something's got to give, that was really, really hard on. It was amazing because it opened so many opportunities for us, and it opened a lot of doors, but it was also very time consuming. And so we do YouTube now, and it's fun. It's a lot more quick and efficient, but yeah, it's hard. I think I just I'm very routine oriented. And so it's like, if it's not work, family, maybe working out, dinner, I'm not really doing it. So,
I'm the same way. I have like 4 buckets, and if it's not one of those, I'm like not doing it.
Yeah, it's the only way to stay focused.
Yeah. What does a day look like for you? Like, every day is probably different, very different, but what's the involvement with like the design side versus the brand side and the e-com side? Like, walk me through sort of what that looks like.
Sure. So my days are different every single day, but there are some themes, and I spend a lot of time reviewing. It's reviewing everything. So in our design firm, we tier our projects, and so the clients sign on for different levels of probably my involvement, but also like what we're providing on a service level. So those top 2 tiers are where I'm involved, and our design team's amazing. They're running point on the projects. I'm reviewing every selection and the changes or questions that come up, but I'm not doing the day-to-day communication, and I'm not doing the drawings. I'm reviewing them, I'm editing them, but I'm not doing the day-to-day. But that allows me to still, I love that side of things, and it keeps me, it's like a laboratory of sorts too, because I get to hear what clients are saying, and then that informs what we're doing on McGee Co. And so that's really cool relationship, but I can't let that go. Even if it's a really small part of our business now, I can't let it go. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's the fun part. One of the most fun parts.
So I'm involved in those top 2 tiers, and I review all of those selections. And then my schedule allows, and it usually does, I will be there for the install, at least the end part of the install. Then I review a lot. I review and concept so many products. So at McGee Co, we develop hundreds and hundreds of products every year, and I'm concepting the vision for those. And then our design team, so I have two different design teams, product design, and then we have the interior design. But then the design team takes those concepts and they're bringing them to life, and I'm editing. So then you have that. And then I have also the reviewing and editing with our partners. So Kohler,
the licensing
we're working on a new faucet collection. It's like, oh, we're doing a new, tub or whatever it is. Like, I'm working with them on those. Then I would say beyond reviewing, the other huge part of my job is I am the spokesperson for all of these things. So I spend a lot of time on camera. I'm on camera doing, project reveals or doing campaigns for McGee Co. We shoot seasonally, and there's lots of assets that go along with that. So I'm shooting for that. I'm shooting for YouTube. I'm shooting for social. And then you take all of the partnerships that we do, and then they require, like, they have their photo shoot campaign needs too. So I would say that that's how it's like reviews, a lot of creative reviews and spokesperson duties. And then here and there I get looped into the business, but Sid is CEO. And so he is doing the day-to-day. That oversight of multiple companies is a lot, and there's a lot of fires kind of constantly when you're running a business. And so you're just running around trying to solve problems. And then I get in for a quick, like, hey, what do you think about this? Or we have a board meeting. And then I'm there, but our jobs do not overlap a lot.
No, and that makes sense, right? Because you are doing the things that you are best at, and he is doing the things that he is best at. And that's, I think, one of the best things and hardest things as a founder and an entrepreneur is like giving up the control of the areas where you're not the most interested. But it's one of the smartest things you can do in the long run, because that's how you operate efficiently.
Yeah, I think it can be scary when you haven't done it before. And also if maybe a team member isn't the right fit, and then you're like, oh man, I made a mistake. But it's just part of the process. And then when you have a team member that's incredible, then you're like, I couldn't do this without them. So
totally. And how do you protect your creative energy and just like your overall sanity in a day-to-day doing all of these things?
I mean, I don't know that I'm always protecting it, but the creative energy usually comes through like trips for me. So, or uninterrupted blocks of time. Like, my creative energy doesn't happen in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It happens when I lock myself in my studio and tell everyone, like, I turn off the Slacks and I say, I'm not looking at email. I'm hiding my phone in a drawer, and I'm looking at something and saying, like, okay, we're going to keep fighting through this until we get there. Or I take a trip somewhere and I'm like super inspired. I come back and I'm like, I saw this, and the hotel did this, and I loved it. And then my team always knows that as soon as I go on a trip, I'm coming back and I will have like 50 photos that I'm going to share with them because I was inspired. And so for me, like, stepping away to then come back and feel energized is a huge part of that creative energy. But it's not always that easy. We can't all just step away and come back. And so for me, usually it means locking myself in a room.
I do the same thing. I feel like creative people in general need alone time and quiet time, because it's just too much overstimulation, especially when you're in a creative field and you're looking at color and pattern and fabrics, and like there's 50 ideas percolating in one given minute. I think you have to like slow down for the good ones to bubble up.
Yep. I mean, you could fight through a design for like hours and it's not working. Step away and come back, and it comes together in like 15 minutes. But you just kind of have to give yourself the space.
Thinking about the next chapter for Studio McGee and McGee & Company, where do you feel the brand is sort of naturally heading?
I would say that the brand is heading in a focused place. So I think doing what we're doing, I don't plan to grow the design firm exponentially. We're just taking the best projects. And if we happen to hire a designer and that grows our team a little bit, great. But that is just we're just continuing to like elevate what we're doing there and continue to get better. McGee Co is the focus for growth, given that it's a product-based business. I mean, Sid and I have big, lofty aspirations there. I want to be one of the brands that comes to mind when you're thinking of furnishing your home with like beautiful furniture. That's what I want to be one of those top 5 names that come to your head when you're searching.
Yeah. I mean, it is a household name. You guys have grown so much in a decade. It's really been so amazing to see. And it's just wild how much effort goes into, like you said, with e-com, you're creating the products, you have a full product team, you have product designers, then you've got to shoot all these assets.
Yeah, and then we fulfill them. Like there's so many different components of running the product business that's very behind the scenes. We're opening our first retail store next year.
Oh, that's so exciting. Where is it?
It's in Salt Lake.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we're currently building it out. But the hope is really that once that begins, then that is us rolling into more brick and mortar retail, which I'm so excited about. But the focus, when you ask about the different facets of our business, it's really continuing to improve, grow, and become that household name.
Yeah. Well, brick and mortar will definitely, being able to have a physical store to walk into and kind of enter your world. I feel like people will be so excited just to experience that. And as it expands.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I think that when you're an entrepreneur and you've put in over a decade, you kind of settle into like, this is what it looks like to run a business. It can be hard. It can be exciting. Also, we're going to be okay. Like we're going to be okay. Whereas I think for the first several years, it was like, is this going to work?
Well, it's so scary in the beginning. But when you've got a decade under your belt, you're like, okay, we've seen some fires and like we put them out and we know we can put them out again.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about design. Is there a favorite element about the design process for you?
I think that designers fall into 2 categories. I've watched this over the years, and I still think my theory is true. I think you have designers that live for the drawings and the finishes. I think that you have designers that like feel their way through projects and like love the like little details and styling touches.
Yeah.
And you need, my experience, I love to have both on my teams. We complement each other really well, but I fall into the styling, the decorator bucket of like what comes naturally to me. Of course, I've learned over the years all of the technical aspects and what it takes to build a home and get into that nitty gritty, but it's not what makes my heart sing. What makes my heart sing is finding the perfect pleated silk lampshade from a random vendor in London that like makes my heart explode, which sounds like
totally
maybe nothing to someone, but it's everything to me.
No, but it's the finishing detail. And that makes so much sense because so much of what you teach people through your books and through the show and your YouTube channel is sort of how you can bring looks together by doing things like that and how it doesn't have to be this whole crazy experience. And so that makes sense.
I love beautiful things. Like it's not about expense. It's just like I derive so much joy from tying a ribbon on a Christmas tree to finding the perfect maybe sofa or rug. Like it's just, and that's how I like approach my own home is it's like, what do I love? What have I been thinking about for years that I want in my own home? Then I'll finally do it. And I just stew over things. I think I'm an overthinker. I'm like going to bed thinking about it, walking through a house. And so I'm so glad my team keeps me grounded. And they're like, okay, but it needs to be this many inches, Shea. And I'm like,
right. I'm the same because I'm terrible at CAD. So my team they definitely keep me humble with that.
But I mean, I think you can see that. I think not that you can see that you don't like CAD, but I think you can see the stylist in you and your work.
Thank you. That's so nice. I agree with you that those touches are what make a home feel really considered, and the little details are what make it all come together. I love asking this question, and I think for you in particular, because you didn't go to school, I am curious to see what you'll say. What design rule do you always follow, and are there any that you think are made to be broken?
Design rule. Scale is something I'm not going to break. Unless it's like a styling thing where, I want like that tiny piece of artwork above the bed because it's a fun surprise. But
Yeah.
I just don't think that when you walk into a room and the scale isn't right, no matter how pretty the pieces are, it's going to feel off. And so for me, I don't know if that's a rule, but it's not something that I'm like interested in playing with a lot because I want to feel calm in a space, and scale and proportion has a lot to do with that. But as far as rules to be broken, I mean, I think I'm open to, and what I've learned too, as I've done this for a long time, is I think too many rules leads to a look that looks the same over and over and over again.
Yep, it's like prescriptive.
Yeah, and I think that I used to think like, well, I would use the phrase, well, we'd never do this. Well, and now I'm doing it. And I'm glad that I allowed myself to be open to that. What's funny is I'll use this as an example. So sheer curtains used to be like kind of ick. It's like a no, and you don't want to do that. Sheer curtains kind of look cheap. That was the general consensus a decade plus ago.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, it would be really beautiful is if we did sheer drapes behind this tub. And it's silly.
But that's how you evolve.
That's how you evolve. And so I find myself not saying never or don't, let's not do it, because I also want our designers, when they're presenting me with things, to not self-edit before it gets to me.
Yeah.
Come up with the wild idea. And I might say yes to some and no to some, but at least we put it all out there, and that's how we push ourselves and our clients.
Totally. And that's where the creative spark comes from. Like something a little bit weird that gets thrown in there is usually something often that is like the best element of the room. One time we had Mika Tenhov on the show, who I love, and she's like one of my favorite people. And she said that every room needs an anchovy, which I love. It's so good.
I love that.
It's true.
So Bobby McAlpine, we interviewed him for our design team during COVID when we were all kind of like, what are we doing during this time? And he called it like a snaggletooth, I think, was like every
oh my God
snaggletooth or on the exterior. And that stuck with me. So
I love that. Well, now if you're listening, you got to add an anchovy and a snaggletooth to your rooms. Best advice for designing interiors you've ever received? Besides the snaggletooth, which I love.
I would say that what I often tell our designers, and I guess I'm talking about my own advice to our designers, is one that I like to think of is like, would you do this in your own home?
Yeah. Like, would you live with this?
If you were building a ranch house out in the middle of nowhere, and like, what would you do this? And sometimes it helps, because for me, my guiding gut instinct has never led me astray. And anytime I feel that like, oh, I'm not sure that I like this, I need to listen to it, because the house is going to get installed and I'm still going to have that pit in my stomach if I didn't just speak up and say something.
So true. Intuition is deeply powerful, and really something to be honed in on and listen to.
Yeah. And I think also I don't have a mentor. I haven't had someone telling me. So when I say advice, I'm like, I don't know, what did I come up with for myself that worked? And listening to my intuition has served me well.
It's so good. I love that, because you really, you like shot out of a cannon on your own, and it's so hard to do. And I think listening to yourself about what works and what you feel is right clearly works for you. And also it's an important lesson, I think, just for creatives in general, is to tap into that. What do you think your home says about you?
I mean, my personal home is both relaxed and sophisticated at the same time. And I think that says everything about how I like to live, the things that I'm drawn to. And my home is always changing and rotating. And I think that says a lot about me too. I'm like a squirrel, always looking and being inspired and thinking, oh, Well, I was on a trip to Italy and they had this dresser filled with like antique sterling silver frames that were like really ornate. It kind of doesn't fit what you would expect from me, but I loved that. So then what did I do? I started collecting these antique frames, and it's like one of my favorite spots in my home right now. And that's just little changes, little styling changes, or I'm just constantly, my home is a lab and it's always changing.
Yeah.
My neighbors are probably so sick of the trucks out in front of my house because there's always something going on, but I just can't help it.
But it's personal, and I think that's such a big piece of it too, is like the personal design resonates the most because you can, like you said about the frames and you saw them in Italy and they make you happy. It's tied to a memory. It's not just a thing that you put on a shelf. It's something that reminds you of when you were there. Speaking about rotation and getting things in and out of the house and stuff, this season is sponsored by Shop My, and we love your Shop My shop. It's so great. What is currently on your wish list in your seasonal rotation right now?
Like, I just sent Sid some links.
I was going to say, we could page Sid and tell him to listen to just this part of the podcast.
For my Shop My is really different because I don't consider myself like a fashion influencer necessarily, but I love fashion and I love, actually, let's say style. I like style more than I'm interested in fashion, but it's an extension of expressing myself and it connects really closely, I think, with home.
Totally.
My followers had so many questions. So then I started my own Instagram that was just my life. And my Shop My is really just everything that I have tried. I am less interested I want people to have total confidence in what I'm sharing. So I'm not really sharing things that I have not purchased. I am sharing things that are tried and true to me. And I think that by accident, that really works. It wasn't really the intent. It was just to kind of share my life. And people ask so many questions about, what is that? Where is that from? And now it's become part of my day-to-day is just sharing bits of my life behind the scenes that are a lot less polished. And it has been a fun creative outlet for me. So my Shop My is truly just me. It's just me.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's supposed to be. I feel like the genius of Shop My is that you can really dig in on any of the tastemakers who you love and what their style is because they can organize it however they want to. And so for you, it's just a reflection of all the things that you love genuinely and that make you you and that you have tried and trusted and recommend time and time again. I personally love it.
Yeah, so my process is just anytime I posted something in stories or on the feed, I upload it to Shop My and I link everything. And then from there, I categorize it. So whatever has been linked latest gets categorized by type, which is how I share everything. And Shop My has made that so easy.
Oh my God, it's the best interface.
It really is the best interface.
Okay, let's get into our Take 10. These are our rapid fire questions that we ask at the end of every episode. They really don't have anything to do with design, but I love to ask them.
Okay.
What is your favorite food?
Well, it's either chips and guacamole. My favorite drink is Diet Coke.
Perfect. That was the next question I was going to ask. Drink is Diet Coke.
And they go hand in hand together really well.
Honestly, that's an elite pairing. Favorite film?
Singing in the Rain.
That's such a good classic. Favorite hotel?
Paso Aqua in Lake Como.
Oh, that's on my list. It looks amazing.
It was incredible. Can't say enough. I know this is rapid fire, but I could talk about Paso Aqua for a long time.
Favorite city?
I love London.
Me too, especially for the antiquing. Favorite bedding?
I love our tencel sheets from McGee Co.
Tea or coffee, and how do you take it?
Neither.
How do you function? Diet Coke.
So much Diet Coke.
So much Diet Coke. Favorite playlist or music to listen to?
I listen to a little bit of everything, but people may be surprised to know that I love 60s and 70s rock and roll.
Oh my.
Love it.
Favorite weekend activity?
Oh, taking our Airstream out.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
What do you guys do? Where do you go in it?
Well, I mean, Utah has places everywhere to camp. So
Totally.
we can take it like 30 minutes away into the mountains by our house and do a night there. And
So
it's
nice.
very fun. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's such a different, the terrain impacts the lifestyle so much. Like it's just so different. I'm in the suburbs of New York. It's just so different here. That's so fun and so fun to do with kids.
We love it. I love to be outside and disconnect. And that is one of my favorite ways to do that.
Yeah. It's a really good way to talk about refreshing your creativity.
Yes.
Favorite design book?
Timeless by Patrick Ahern.
I love that one. It is so good. We have that in the office and I also have it at home. It's like an amazing book.
Same. It warrants having 2 copies for sure.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God. Well, this was so much fun. Let's get into a final few words. What are you working on right now? I mean, what are you not working on right now? But are there any new projects that you can tell us about?
Yeah, my 2 biggest projects right now are designing our retail space that will open in Salt Lake in summer of next year. And then the one that is soonest that I have been working on for the past few years is I am launching an entertaining and cooking book.
Oh my God, I saw. Yes, that's so exciting.
It's been a labor of love.
And you also had such a genius idea. I saw you printed it out and put it in like a spiral. That was so smart.
Well, and then I got all these messages saying, can you do a spiral bound version? And I'm like, all the best like high school and like neighborhood cookbooks are a spiral bound and they're so convenient, but
it was also so genius.
Beautiful binding, but I did print that out for myself.
I literally like gasped when I saw that because for those listening, like when you're doing a book process, my book comes out in February and you don't get to see what it looks like at all until that book comes in from like the ship that it is taking 4 months to arrive on.
You are holding your breath.
Yes. And I saw that. I was like, that is the smartest thing I've ever seen. I'm so excited for you. It looks beautiful.
3 books in and I'm so excited. It's both entertaining and food. And it wasn't my intent from the beginning for this to happen, but the food really, the way I cook really is an extension of how I like to design. And it's been a really fun, creative challenge. And so that comes out in April.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. And also perfect, like right before Mother's Day. It's such a good Mother's Day gift.
Yeah.
Oh my God, well, congrats. I can't wait to get it when it comes out. This is the last question we ask. What is your advice for someone looking to define their own interior style?
Yeah, I think patience with yourself is a big part of the process as you discover what you like to live with. I think you can pin hundreds of really beautiful images and there's all different design styles out there. But what do you like to live with? How do you like to live? And sometimes that just takes doing it. And the awesome thing about interiors is that they can evolve. And if you stay classic with the finishes, you can really play with the styling and decor. And so sometimes you just have to like do it to know, you know what, this isn't for me, or this room, I want to be in it all the time. Okay, that tells you, hey, you know what, this is really speaking to your design style. And it does take time, but time is what provides really beautiful rooms.
Totally. I love that. That's such good advice. Shea, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on. Where can listeners find more about you and your brand? Yeah,
so Studio McGee is our design firm, and McGee Co is where you can shop all of our home products. And thanks so much for having me. You've made this so easy. So thank you.
I'm so glad you came on. I've been really excited about this one, and all the girls in my office were like, oh my God, for joining me and to Shop My for sponsoring this season of Talk Shop. Head to the show notes to create your free shopper account and explore the curated storefronts from this season's designers. We'll be back next week with more thoughtful discussions and amazing guests. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube so you never miss an episode. And of course, follow me at Ariel Okin. See you next week.